they're finally like, this is a wrap. Okay, we got the right picture. And then TC goes to get up, and his nutsack is frozen to the eyes.
Clearing the crease. Oh! Clearing the crease. Aye, aye, aye.
Welcome back to the Clearing the Crease podcast, powered by Ozoon. Well played. I'm James Cybulski. With me, as always, the rock stars, your favorite Stanley Cup winner, Mike Commodore, the Razor, your favorite Calder Trophy winner, Andrew Raycroft, and our guest today, one of the greatest shots, one of the great cannons in the history of the sport, and I am not exaggerating by any stretch, Al IAFRATE. Al, thank you for joining us. And first things first, you're wearing a toque, and I'm thinking, where's the skullet, man? Like every hockey fan right now, where's the flow? Where's that flow right now?
Well, I had a fro, I had long curly hair, and then I started to go bald, and kind of like the Samson thing. I was like, I can't cut my hair off. So anyone can wear a man bun. So I was like, I'm gonna have a skullet. So I rocked the skullet at the end of my career. I shaved my head when I got to Boston, and I think everyone misses the skullet, like you said, but it's gone. I waved goodbye to it, and I appreciate being here. Love these guys as athletes, as players. They're awesome guys, so I'm honored to be here.
Well, you don't do a lot of these, so I appreciate this.
That's right.
Quickly. This is
It's a big deal. At any time we can hang. Big Al's literally the best guy of all the guys that we could have on.
Well,
it's literally my favorite.
Tell the story.
Probably my favorite.
What are you wearing? Tell us the story about this toque right now, because I thought you were joking when you said it, but
I have to mark my turf, right? So
I love it.
When I was 16, I didn't think I was going to make 21, and then I just turned 60. It's the year of the fire horse, right? Once every 60 years. I turned 60, and I feel like I'm in the 7th inning stretch. So there's still a lot of places I want to go and see. So I figured I got to mark my turf wherever I go. So I got this. I don't know what camera I'm on, but it says I love to pee outside.
Me too.
and I need one of those.
The best thing about it is I can
it's not stitched in.
I can put it wherever I want. I'm very resourceful.
Could be a belt
Much to the dismay of a lot of my coaches, I am resourceful.
Razor, you said this was going to be fun.
This is who I hang out with whenever I can.
Speaking of 16 to 21, I want to bring it back to go back in the day. 18 years old, Olympics, right?
Yep. 17.
17 years
Youngest
old.
ever?
Yeah.
No,
talk to me
Eddie.
about that.
Eddie
Where were
was.
they?
Eddie was.
Give me the whole.
So
How'd that come about? I mean, that's incredible.
it was Elfie Turcotte and Pat LaFontaine were teammates of mine. Great players, first-round draft picks, Hall of Famer. Elfie's a great hockey player as well. His son Alex is LA.
Yeah.
Doing all right.
So after my midget career with CompuWare, Pete Carmanos, I played for the original CompuWare, one of the original CompuWare teams, with his oldest son, Pete. He might be Pete the fourth or third.
Yeah.
The boy, and Pete was a big proponent of getting guys to the next level. So he kind of opened up the whole American player playing in the OHL and stuff like that. Because before that, it was, the 80 Olympic team won the gold medal. It was a college type thing if you were an American player. And Pete knew a lot of the scouts, and, he probably had his visions of owning a team at that point, in time. And after our midget year, we won the national championship, and they had tryouts for the sports festival, which was north, south, east, west. They'd have zones, and me and Pat went to the tryouts, and I made the cut out of the part of the Midwest we were in, and went to the camp in Colorado Springs, and I played pretty decent, and Shelley was there, and a lot of other great players, and me and Pat made the team. And I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And you're kids.
Can I
17
swear?
years old.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can
Say
quit
whatever
high
you
school.
want. High school's over.
I finished my junior
School's
year.
out.
Yeah, I finished my junior year, and I was like, oh, I was a pretty good student. I was getting letters from a lot of big Ivy League schools and stuff like that because I was a good student, and but I didn't love school. I loved hockey,
Yeah.
and I loved football, and.
Were you a football player too?
I played football up to a point, and that's funny because my mom was like, "You've got to decide." When I was a sophomore in high school, she's like, "You've got to decide. If you play football, you're gonna get hurt. You're gonna hurt your knees." So I played hockey and ended up having 9 knee surgeries, 3 back surgeries. Just got my hip replaced. So, back to the question Kami asked me. I made the team. I went to the camp in Colorado Springs, and then I made the final roster where I was going to travel around the world with, because before it was pros, it was amateur, and the national team would travel all over. So we played 20 games against the college teams, 20 games against the affiliates of the pro teams. I think it was the CHL back then, maybe, and International Hockey League. So we played a lot of the minor pro teams, and then it was the Olympics, and then I went to Belleville right after the Olympics because they drafted me in the OHL in the first round, and that was kind of a bummer because Larry Mavety and Doc Vaughn owned Belleville, and Larry Mavety's a legendary coach, obviously.
Yeah.
I had to call them and tell them I'm not coming. And they were great with it. They were like, it's an unbelievable opportunity. We understand. And then after the Olympics, I went to Belleville. But it happened, I went from being in high school, going to the parties, to going to a tryout, to, hey, I'm going to be on the Olympic team.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like from midget hockey, 4 months later.
Pretty big jumps here.
Yeah. And then, I wish I would have been able to play a full year of junior, because I think I really would have developed more so before I got to the NHL rather than the growing pains of being a 18-year-old. Because when I was 18 at my first NHL camp, I thought it was a track meet, man. I was like, oh, I'm going to go end-to-end every time I hit the puck. Then I realized, okay, these guys are as big as me. They're fast like me. They're stronger than me, and they're way more experienced.
Yeah.
So it was some learning pains for the organization and myself, but if I could do it all over again, I'd do it the exact same way.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys got to see the jumpsuit he has.
Oh, I should have worn it.
I know. It's like he's got the jumpsuit from Sarajevo still, and he'll break it out on the weekends.
It was like the classic 80s Dumb and Dumber ski suit, red, white, and blue, awesome USA colors. Levi's was the big sponsor. And I wore it at an event with Razor a year or two ago in Brockville, right?
Yeah, it was the Four Nations.
Yeah, it was the Four Nations.
Yeah.
And I wore it. I wore it for the gala. Still fits. Well, I mean, maybe not a little.
No, it still fits.
Still
Big
fits.
boy. Yeah, big boy. It still fits. It still fits.
I'm like 10 pounds heavier than that.
That's unreal. Yeah.
Well, he was 17, by the way, so you can imagine the man-child, huh?
Yeah, I was like 212 then. I'm like 227 now, so it's a little snugger, but it's good.
But you can pull it off. That's incredible.
Talk to us about when you went to the NHL and how that, like you just talked to maybe one more year juniors. Of course, you and I, Mav was my coach, Doc Vaughn from Belleville, the whole thing. Those guys, another year would have been great, but you also were ready for the NHL physically.
Physically, because I could, I'm known for my shot probably the most, but I was a skater.
You flew. Yeah, you flew.
That was my game, was skating and shooting, right? But like I said earlier, it was I had to learn the game because, playing up until I got to the Olympic team, I could pretty much do whatever I wanted from the blue line, and it was a big learning curve, learning, how to play down low with the center, being your guy with you down low with the D, and, when to pinch and when to try to go end to end when it's 5-0 and you're trying to go end to end and there's a minute left in the game and you're winning and then the other team scores and the shutout's gone. That kind of stuff was painful. Especially I remember one time I did that and we were playing Winnipeg. We were winning, I think 3-0, and there was like 2 minutes left in the game. And I wanted a cookie or something. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go end to end. And I decided I was going to go end to end, and Randy Carlisle, classic hip check, flips me. They go down and score. My best buddy was Kenny Reggett. We lived together, right?
Yeah.
And that ended his shutout bid. And the next day in practice, Brof, he has a bucket of pucks. And he's like, boys, we're going to skate a side of beef. Come on and watch. And he dumped out all the pucks, and I had to grab a puck, sprint to the red line, dump it in, and yell, I will dump the puck in. And then I'd skate back and get another one and have to dump
the whole bucket.
Oh, I had to do the whole bucket. It was horrible. But it was deserved, so.
You're going to skate a side of beef.
That,
Go ahead.
if you don't mind, like, core memory unlocked, having you sit here. When I think of Hockey Night in Canada growing up in the 1980s, watching the Leafs were always on Saturday night, and at a time when the team wasn't winning a lot of games, sort of in the 80s. But man, your group there was so much promise, and they kind of tore it apart a little quick. But there was yourself, there was Wendell. I mean, Russ Courtnall was coming along, and there were Vinny Danfus and so many good young players that never really got a chance to develop. But man, like I just think, for me, when I think of Hockey Night in Canada and the Leafs, just for my generation, I can hear and see the television with Bob Cole's the soundtrack. IAFRATE down the wing, and I'm not doing it proper justice. He scored! Like, just you let it go, and like your speed, the shot, all of it. But that time in Toronto, did you not feel like there was something there, even though it wasn't? You weren't winning games, but that core felt like it had something. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, I was the 4th pick in an unbelievable draft. There's like Patrick Waugh and Brett Hull went in later rounds, but like the first rounders were Mario, Muller, Eddie, me, Corson, Gary Roberts, Joe Nieuwendyk. The list goes on. There's probably some Hall of Famers I'm missing, but there's so many of them, it's hard to keep track of them. And having that young core, I was the 84 pick first round, and then Wendell was the number 1 pick overall the next year. And we didn't qualify for the playoffs, obviously, having Wendell as the first pick my rookie year. But then you could see glimpses of things happening, good things happening, because we'd make the playoffs. We'd always squeak in at the end. And
Norris division.
I personally feel like that whole no free agency, 50 first rounders if you sign for
yeah, that's right.
more than $100,000. The compensation was ridiculous. So it was a hard time, weird time, because as a player, they were always trying to change you rather than them drafting a guy that they needed. It would be like if you lost 3 games in a row and weren't playing well defensively, the next week of practices would be killing each other in practice. We need to stop giving up so many goals, and we'd kill each other. And they want guys that are young goal scorers that are, rather than pour water on the flower and let it blossom, they were trying to turn a rose into a tulip.
A thorn.
Yeah. So it was weird. They were trying to get guys to do things that they probably weren't nearly as adept at doing, right? And I was kind of a hybrid, wild type Mustang, where I was more of a rover than a defenseman until I really learned.
Well, your game would be perfect now.
Oh, how many goals did you score right now?
It'd be.
Right?
Honestly, how many goals would you score in this league right now?
Well, I don't
Lane
know.
Hudson on steroids.
I don't know. We'll never know, but
No, we
it
won't.
would be fun playing now.
Yeah.
It would. I mean, every year is great no matter what, because hockey always comes down to you got to have guys that can finish. We'll say talent, but you got to have toughness, man. You can go back to in my opinion, the way I perceive and see hockey, the history of it. You can go every Stanley Cup championship team. They're probably obviously skilled, but it's always one of the toughest teams, man for man. They play, and that doesn't mean fighting. That means guys that'll take hits to make plays. That means guys that'll uncharacteristically hit that aren't big hitters, and it's a mindset that I think you learn and develop over time being with the pack of wolves on a team, and you want to bring something to the table, and you realize what you got to do to help your teammates, and so the whole team can strive and get better.
What would you say, like coming in as an 18-year-old, how long, like you touched on a little bit, I'm interested, how long, or how many years or whatever time frame you want to put on before you think you were like comfortable and like where you learned how to, like you weren't going to take the puck up and, every single time, and how long did that take, like, do you think to adjust?
I'd say at least 3 to 4 years.
3 to 4 years.
Because I would, like he said, like Razor said, I was like a man child and like a young in the mind in a man's body.
Man's body, yeah.
But I don't know. I'm the
Yeah.
youngest in an Italian family, so you're kind of catered to a little bit, right?
Right, sure.
A baby boy in an Italian family, it's like being a prince, right?
Thanks to the birth order today, yes.
So someone would yell at me, like Brofer's Dan Maloney would yell at me, and I'd be like, why are they yelling at me? Right. I'm Al. But I would say 3 to 4 years, and then it was kind of my coming out where I think it was either my 3rd or 4th year. I had like 12 goals in the first 20 games.
Yeah.
And then I tied the record for most goals by a Leaf defenseman in a season, and was an all-star my first time. And, it was 3 or 4. I was like 21 or 22,
Yeah.
which I think a lot of it was, I had to grow up. It's looking back at it, not grow up so much as in, like grow up in that I have to be responsible for my actions, and learning that on a team was it was difficult for me. I don't know why. That's probably why my mom would say, "What's wrong with you?" But it just was. It was hard because I just felt like I just wanted to carry the puck, man.
Yeah. Fair
I
enough.
wanted to fly around. So I was
You were
like
fun
a
to
rover.
watch with
Yeah.
Who was the best player you ever played with?
Oh, that's a great question. I would have to say, like, not including, like, not all-star games, like team.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say Ray Bork.
No.
Just, I feel like I'm one of the luckiest guys in the world. It was like when I was 11 or 12, Borje Salming was, the first European, like, superstar playing in the microcosm of hockey in Toronto, and I was like, man, I want to be Borje Salming, because he had this one move where he'd do like a half pivot and put it through his legs, and then make a quick pass right to the center breaking when he'd be in the neutral zone, and I was like, man, I want to be able to do that. And then when I was like 15, Ray Bork was like a rookie, and I'm like, wow, I want to be Ray Bork. And then lucky me, I get drafted by Toronto. I get to play with Borje, and then I get traded to Boston in my 10th season or whatever, and I get to be teammates with Ray. So pretty,
It's a good start.
pretty cool. But with Ray, just obviously the way he could defend and how strong he was, and his shot, and the thing with being a defenseman with Ray is, like, as you know, when there's a breakout under pressure, there's 2 options usually. I'm not saying when they got the kitchen sink coming at you, but in most situations, when it's not a dumping and they're changing, there's two options of a guy you can give it to. And one of them is going to be a super clean exit, or the other one could end up, you get hemmed in. In all the years I played against Ray and saw Ray play, that first pass leaving the zone is always the exact right pass. And that's huge because I'm a big believer, like in football and hockey, it is a territorial game. The more time you spend in your end, even though the other team's not scoring and you're getting outshot every game, it's not a good thing. That means there's a flaw in everything you're doing, right?
Yeah.
So just being able to get out of your zone consistently all the time, that's so huge for a team. And Ray was the best.
I recently watched a documentary on former Leafs owner Harold Ballard. Complicated individual. Like, some people look at one of the worst owners ever, could also be very generous with charity as well. Do you have a Harold Ballard story from your experience?
Oh,
Is there one that stands out?
there's a lot of them. I'll give you a couple of them real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where it's team picture day, and TC Puck was this white Bouvier. They're big, massive dogs, and that was Harold loved this dog, and he always wanted the dog to be in the picture.
In the picture, yeah.
Yeah. So
Do you remember the dog?
Oh, yeah, the dog in the picture. Yeah.
So we got this. We're waiting and waiting and waiting because we were, I don't know, because everyone wanted their hair to look good or whatever. We're waiting before practice to do the picture, and the dog, Harold, had it at the groomer. Right, so we're there like it's for like an hour and a half waiting for Harold and this dog. And then they finally get there, and trying to get everyone organized because there was a big conglomerate of people that weren't on the team, weren't players, but the brass, right? Getting everyone organized, taking pictures, the dog's sitting there perfectly. After like 15 or 20 minutes, they're finally like, this is a wrap. Okay, we got the right picture. And then TC goes to get up and his nutsack is frozen to the eyes. They had to get the water out. That was it was awesome.
Poor TC.
Poor TC.
Poor TC.
Poor guy.
Yeah, so that one, and then another one, Harold, John, when Brof was the coach, if we were like on a losing streak, Harold always sat like halfway down. I think it would be the top of there was the Golds, then the Reds, right?
Yeah, Reds.
He'd sit like on the rail of the Reds, near the top of the last row of the Reds, and we'd be practicing, and then you'd hear, John! And you're like, is that Jesus? What's up? John! And then Brof would blow the whistle and stop practice. And he'd be like, you make sure those guys listen to you. And then we'd all stand there. And we're like, what do we do? What do we do next? And then we'd start practice again, and then he'd go, John! Everyone would stop. And he'd be like, tell Cordell and IAFRATE to skate around the rink as fast as they can. So we'd burn around the rink, just look up. Are we good? Like another lap? Or,
What else is
it was
going
just,
on here?
it was, you can't make it up. It was like you had to live it, right?
Yeah. Toronto to Washington, was that a tough adjustment?
Oh, that was awesome.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah,
You were
because
still in Landover too at that time, right?
yeah. I don't know, like people can say whatever they want about the Toronto Maple Leafs. Being a Toronto Maple Leaf, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, if you love the chaos, if you like being like a phoenix and rising from the ashes, it's the place to play. And then, I'm waiting. I can't wait for the party when they, turn the corner and.
Well, you're going to be on the first float too, aren't you? You're going to be on the first float down Young Street.
Just, if you love hockey and people that love hockey, I'm a hockey person. So, being drafted by Toronto, it was awesome.
Yeah.
the things I get to do now because I was a Toronto Maple Leaf, and you play
Can you still
hard.
come back? Can you still come back to Toronto and like you're still associated as being defined as elite? I would say most of your years were there.
Oh yeah, I do a lot of stuff here in Toronto. Just the opportunities after hockey with people from that era that love hockey that are all my age or 10 years younger when they were teenagers. I was in my heyday.
Yeah.
It's just amazing all the opportunities that are in front of you. And back to the question with going to Washington, it was great because they traded two good players for me, Bob Rouse and Peter Zezel. God bless Peter. He was a great player. And Bob Rouse, obviously, what he did with Detroit when they won their cups, and that guy was a beast. He was a heavy player.
Yeah.
Him and the Wendell Clark Bob Rouse fights are epic.
Yeah.
And they traded both teams were struggling right near the trade deadline. Or no, this was January. Both teams were struggling in January, and Washington needed me, and Toronto needed these guys, and it was kind of nice to see that the trade worked out really good for both teams.
Yeah.
Because it helped Toronto, elevate their game and get a little better, and Washington was kind of in a funk. And for me, I was just coming off a big knee injury. The April or the end of March, the season before, I tore my ACL, MCL, medial meniscus, subluxed the head of my fibula. It was a bad knee injury, and I was slow to get back up to speed because you go from flying around the ice to all of a sudden now it's a struggle to walk
Busted everything.
after an injury like that, and a lot of things going through your head. Am I going to be able to do what I used to do? And then being the young guy that I was a pretty natural athlete. It was the first time I really had to realize that, I thought I was working hard, but I got to work a lot harder to get back to where I was. And that was great because that injury kind of helped me, become a better player, for sure, because I realized how much hard work I really had to put into it, because the speed and all that was so natural for me that it was never an issue where I was working on my skating, right? Mm-hmm. It was the mental part of the game. And David Poyle and Terry Murray, they welcomed me with open arms, all the teammates. It was great. And, we had a good team. Unfortunately, there was the Pittsburgh Penguins.
There goes
they were a
okay.
problem.
Like for years, couldn't get past them. And that, they were winning the cups then.
Yeah.
Last one for me, Al. Just last one. What's your best moment in hockey? What's the first thing you think of when you think of your career?
Well, I didn't win a Stanley Cup like Tommy,
No.
which
Neither
is
did
what
I.
everybody wants to
Of course.
do. I've
I
scored.
wasn't scoring goals.
Can be
before
personal.
on the ice though, either. I
but
wouldn't have minded doing that, but I hear you.
No, but just like, you got the ring, your name on the cup, but just being part of 25 people that all had the same focus on the sense of urgency to everything you're doing, and believing that all of that is going to end in something that's forever.
Yeah. No question.
It's the forever part, right?
Exactly.
The forever part.
It's
literally, you're doing 60
not getting to
years.
experience that is something, I wish I could have, but I didn't. But, scoring big goals in playoffs and all that stuff it's all great, but I think the moment, it was either when you hear that national anthem at the Olympics, or the first NHL game where you're like, in a sense, not quite as epic as winning a Stanley Cup, but the end of a trail that you had a vision and it manifested into reality. You're like, wow, I did it.
Yeah.
And then then you learn that, hey, man, getting there is one thing, staying there is another thing.
No question.
Last one here. Let's make it our Ozoon well played moment. But your shot. one of the best shots in the history of the sport, I think
Oh,
it's
of
fair to
course.
say.
Yeah.
I mean, how hard it went. What was the highest it ever got to?
The hardest I ever shot was 106.7.
Miles per hour. Where did that come? So where did that shot come from?
I think
For
it was
like kids watching this, or people wondering, like, where did that shot come from? Because I can't even imagine now with a composite what that would look like.
I mean, it was like a
Blowing up the boards, exactly. Yeah. But
it
where
was
did
like a long journey. I got to give my sister some credit because we lived right on a main road with my grandma and grandpa, and I'd make her put pillows on her legs. And there was a real estate like office that was like a house,
Okay.
and there was a wall right on the property line of my grandma and grandpa's house. And we'd walk around the corner and I'd draw like 2 marks on the wall, which would be the posts. And she'd put a helmet on with that weird looking nose guard thing and the thing that went around your mouth.
And pillows.
She'd wear gloves and pillows on her legs,
Oh my
and I'd
God.
fire tennis balls at her.
Oh, okay.
And then I would hit her and it would hurt, and she would say, "Oh, it hurt." And then I learned not to hit her and just put it by her, right?
Yeah.
And then it would bounce off the wall and come right back to me. I'm like, this is better. It's not going over the wall. I gotta go get the thing.
Yeah.
So that, and then just growing up, it was Riel Turcotte he's like a pioneer. He was like the original hockey school guy.
Okay.
The Riel Turcotte stick handling school, man. Every hockey school since then is a diversion of that. It's like it's the first one that was like huge. And I wanted to shoot the puck hard because when I got to the NHL, I had a decent shot, but I think I got drafted more because I think when you can just flat out fly, that kicks the door open. They're like, oh, wait till we teach this guy everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that speed it gets the door kicked open.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and then obviously, like I was talking before, there's a lot that goes into playing a professional sport, learning the game and systems and everything like that. So Kenny Reggett, my roommate, we would stay on the ice forever, like me, Russ Courtnall, Stevie Thomas, Todd Gill, Bob McGill, Gary Nyland, Jeff Jackson. There was like 10 of us that were 18 or 19.
Yeah, you're all kids at that
Yeah.
time, right? Yeah.
And Kenny Reggett, Alan Bester, we were all kids, and Dan Maloney would stay out there forever and pass pucks to us, and we would shoot for as long as we wanted at Maple Leaf Gardens, like for hours, if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And one day I was during training camp, my rookie year, I'm hammering the puck as hard as I can, and Ken Reggett's like, "You're a first round pick." He's like, "You can't even shoot." And he took his helmet off, threw his glove down, put his hands behind his back, and he's like, "Shoot as hard as you can." And I was just ripping pucks at him, just kicking him away, blocking him with his shoulder. And I was like,
God.
man, I better start shooting a little bit harder. I thought I had a hard shot, but he doesn't think I have a hard shot. So that's a true story. So just that, and then I was always, what would the word
But your
be?
shot didn't evolve until it evolved even as
It
a pro.
evolved as a player. You know, just always working on my stick, tweaking my stick, looking at other guys' sticks that had big shots. And then I bent my stick a little bit where it was a kind of a 6-iron from the heel. Figured out the blade and then I was like, I want to learn to get a quick shot off and a hard shot off. So because I was shooting different shots from different parts of the blade, then I tweak this blade to the point where when I catch a pass, when I give a pass, when I take a wrist shot, snap shot, slap shot, it's going to come from the exact same sweet spot.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I was thinking, this is consistency. It's constant where no matter what I'm doing, the puck is always going to be on the same part of my blade, unless I'm defending, trying to tip a pass or whatever.
Yeah.
But when it came to any part of the shooting or skilled part of the game, passing, puck handling, it was a small sweet spot on my blade that everything came off of it. And I was always checking, because I always used white tape, and I would always check the
marking.
the puck marks on,
Yeah.
you know, if I was utilizing it the way I should.
They had a real
be.
science to it then.
Oh, I was dialed into
Yeah.
it. And then, you know, later I became a
Mullet
stick.
and everything.
Yeah,
You're still a mad
I became a
scientist.
stick guy because, you know, back then there was no social media. You can only party at the bar so long. You can only do that so many days in a row, and so there's a lot of thinking and a lot of time in the stick room.
Did you not work for a stick company right after retirement?
I had my
Like
own.
about 20 years ago or so?
And then I did one with Cliff Ronning, base hockey, and then I worked for Warrior for
Yes,
5
that's
years.
what-
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Big Al.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you guys.
Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for
Thank you
taking the
guys.
time.
Thanks for having me.
That was
Love
awesome.
it.
That was just a treat. Thanks so much. For somebody who doesn't do these often,
Yes.
please do more. You got an amazing story.
With us.
I mean, freezing nuts.
Nobody else.
on the ice.
Just with us.
Did not expect
I
that.
didn't know you. I thought you always shot hard. I didn't know that.
Oh, I mean, I had a, but Mr.
No, I thought you hammered it all. Like I thought you were
I
like.
kind of did, but it was a hard shot, but not
Yeah.
like super hard like
Yeah, no,
at the end. But I was always Mr. Real Turcotte taught me. He's like, you're gonna take no slap shots. You're gonna develop a wrist shot, and
Yeah.
then from the wrist shot, once you have a hard wrist shot, then you progress into a hard slap shot with the technique and stuff like that, and you know, building the strength in your arms and all that. So I hadn't taken tons of slap shots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was more, because I was always up
You're
ice,
just
so I
flying.
was
You're on
taking,
breakaways all the time.
or trying to catch a guy.
One or the other.
One or the other.
One of our favorite episodes. Reminder, be sure to like and subscribe to Ozoon on YouTube, and be sure to follow along on Instagram, X, and social for Clearing the Crease. He's Commie, he's Razor, I'm Cybulski. Special thanks to an absolute rock star of the hockey world, the one, the only Al IAFRATE, joining us here on the Clearing the Crease podcast, powered by Ozoon. Well played.
All right.